Winger that'll be shooting first. He's a 6-footer, 190. He has 2 senior titles, going against Gary Dickinson, beating 3 players of the year this morning. A 10.
Actually, the shot that he left after 8 in a row in the off-camera match. Look at Ron Winger. That's today, earlier today, as Chris Schenkel has told you. We had a red-hot 2-2-60 games in the early going. Starts with a solid 10. Changes balls, cross-length.
Oh, the former grip on the Hollywood sets. Ron Winger. Blew it. Wow.
Dickinson, the hometown favorite.
Senior player of the year. Point leader. And he didn't come up to jump on it, Bell.
Well, Chris, I wondered whether there was an advantage to Dickinson being the point leader and having to only bowl 1 game, and obviously he still has to get his TV legs. Here he is, the disposition here. He drives straight on through. Dickinson, almost a perfect arm swing, slides by and leaves the 1, 2, 4, 10. Tough shot.
So, our seniors, Nelson, with a pair of open frames. The count is 9-8.
Setting up the championship pair, I bowled about 4 games on this pair during the 7 days, Chris. The left-hand lane, 27, kind of hangs. You'll have the light hit more often on that lane. 28 finishes very well, so it's surprising that Gary slid by on the right-hand lanes. Has to be just a little bit apprehensive. Second frame.
And coming up high, crossing over almost, leaving the 310 for the man that's in his 49th television appearance.
Needs to get the ball to the right of the 3-pin, let the ball deflect into the 10.
Nope, so back-to-back open frames for the senior player of the year. Earned that 2 victories, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and a 4th.
Ron Winger, actually a man out of his time. He was a power player back when you needed to be a stroker, and he still has that kind of role. Remember, he did a Choice Hotel tip, and he drives straight through in this area. Has the good wrist action like he used to have. Not quite the knee bend that we saw 20 years ago, but still throws a very effective strike ball. He gets the first mark of the match, leads by 12, can make it 22 with a strike in the 3rd.
Oh, goodness.
Chris, this is the type of lane condition we saw Friday morning, yesterday morning. When the players came out, there was a dry area to the right, outside of like the 1st or 2nd board. What he has to do here is just try to get the ball over in this area and hopefully bounce the 4 out into the 6. Going for it, but a tough shot.
Okay, 2 out of 3 open frames, and for Gary Dickinson getting up now. He had back-to-back. The time he would most like to recover. He's on the right lane, all 6
Dickinson
feet 4.
Chris Dickinson trying to play an extreme outside line. The danger, if you miss to the right, the ball hook high.
Goes by the 2-5.
When we get that shot again, I'll show you exactly what the problem is. When you get the ball outside around the 1st or 2nd board, it snaps. You can almost see a dry area out there by the right-hand channel. If you get it into the 4th or 5th board, it slides by. It's kind of an overreaction to cause a very sensitive dry area and a very wet area.
Well, you know, today, Gary Dickinson, at whom you're looking, is bowling in his home house and in his hometown. Sounds like he would have a definite edge.
No, not a big advantage. I think I have an advantage just because it is my home house. I've lived here for the last 6 years and bowl here nearly every day when I'm in town. And I got my mother here and my brother and his wife and their daughters, and it's, you know, I have a big crowd support here, so I think I have an advantage there.
And there is Gary Dickinson's first strike. We're at Boulevard Bowl in Edmond, Oklahoma. You know, Native Americans are a significant part of the rich history of Oklahoma. Hence, here in a very prominent position in front of the Capitol building in Oklahoma City is a wonderful sculpture by Allen Hauser, a native of the state.
You know, winning never gets old, and neither does saving money. If you're 50 or over, just call 1-800-4CHOICE to reserve a room in any Quality, Comfort, Clarion, or Sleep hotel. And you can save 30% off the price of your room. That number again, 1-800-4CHOICE. Perfect.
Travelers 50 and over save 30% at Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotel.
You know your NyQuil works. What'd you do? You tried the latest thing, so you cough all night. Got no rest. But you can take NyQuil tonight.
Vicks NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine.
Hey, it's a huge Ace Dollar Day sale. There are values everywhere you look.
Brushes and bulbs.
Cords and cocks.
Glue and gloves.
And more for just $1 each.
So look into the Ace Dollar Day sale today. You'll see so many ways to save.
Introducing the official PBA sweatshirt, not available in any store. Order now by calling this number. For just $19.99, you'll get a full-cut, fruit-of-the-loom sweatshirt bearing the official emblem of the PBA Tour, the only one of its kind. Choose either white or gray. We can't guarantee you'll get a strike every time you put this on, but we can guarantee you won't find the official PBA sweatshirt anywhere else.
And don't forget to order a spare.
Call 1-800-214-4200 to order your PBA sweatshirt. Pay just $19.99 plus $3.95 shipping and handling. Credit card orders accepted.
Okay, we're back again at Edmond Bowl. We have an even match, a most unusual match between a pair of seniors, Ron Winger and Gary Dickinson. This is Winger. So for Ron Winger, North Hollywood, that's his second strike. Earlier, Ron addressed the difference in pressures he feels when bowling against a senior bowler and against a regular touring pro.
Well, bowling Gary, I've bowled him before on TV, and we've had some good matches. And on the senior tour, he's the best out there right now. He was #1, but I feel like I got a good shot against him. I really don't feel the pressure. And as far as the young guys, I think the pressure's on them, because if I happen to win and I beat them, so I think I got a good shot.
Okay, leaving the 10 pin, and that's been proven here in the Choice Challenge in the past, Nelson.
You're right, Chris. It's a 50-50. And actually what's happening is the players, if they get in a real dry area out here by the gutter, it hooks high. But right around here is an oil area. It's called an over-under. And, Chris, that can be very hard to handle. The solution is not as simple. It's as simple, but it's hard to figure out. What you really need to do for a player like Dickinson is to actually move left, throw it in the oiler or more oilier part of the lane, and let the ball slide back in the pocket. It's the only way you can control it. And that's just what he tried to do. As his mom looks on, kind of disappointed with the 2-7 split.
Look at that. Fayrene Dickinson from Durant, Oklahoma, up by the Texas, or down by the Texas border.
Down the Red River area.
Mm-hmm.
Mom says, got to make this, Gary, to stay even in the match.
Fayrene, 5 children, 1 deceased.
Here's what Dickinson needs to do is actually throw the ball up into this area. He's trying to go down along in this area like this, and he gets caught in between in this area like that. Most of the time that won't work, but on this particular pair, that's the solution. And he did it right there.
Right. Oh, to find that key, to find that line. And Gary looked back at his mom with that shot. Why not? Winger now, spare working. sixth frame. Okay. This is head-to-head. The winner will go to meet the Choice Hotels tournament champion in a $25,000 winner-take-all match.
Look at those games that Ron Bolden getting here. 214, 260, 260, 249 average. He'd like to have some of that right now. Both players tied through 6 frames, strike working 7th frame.
All but the 2 for Ron Winger.
Didn't hit it.
Didn't hit it. He means his fingers did not get underneath the ball. You see him lose it at the bottom of the swing. Winger, more of a power player than Dickinson. Depends on that good, strong lift. The ball slides off his thumb and fingers. Ends up with a 2-pin, but he'd love to have a double.
Okay. Edmond, Oklahoma. Choice Hotels Classic-M Challenge. These world champion Arabian horses are raised at one of the many farms here in Edmond. This farm specializing in basic horsemanship and English discipline.
If you had nothing to hold you back, how would you design the world's most advanced bowling ball? You'd probably pick the best brains in the business, cutting-edge computer design tools, the hottest resins and manufacturing technologies. You'd probably try to change the structure of the game forever. But don't bother. We've already done it. Hurry. Make the quantum leap.
I'm a 35-year-old father, and I love my kids. Cereal.
Brave adults express their feelings about life and their love for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Anxiety, embarrassment, guilt. As far as I'm concerned, it's all part of a complete breakfast.
Those crunchy flakes, that delicious frosting. Isn't it time you put it all out on the table?
I know, it's embarrassing, even a little childish. And that's just the box.
There's no denying it. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
Will Tanya skate? We'll tell you what we found out. And Robert De Niro is the Frankenstein monster? Get an exclusive first look on E.T.
An even match here at Boulevard Bowl in a seniors battle in this unique format. The seniors player of the year against the man who won 3 matches this morning. This is Gary Dickinson, his opponent, Ron Winger.
This strike to take the lead.
258, though.
Chris, bowling is an environment where you really have to feel your way. Golf is a great game, but you can see what you have to do. And it's very difficult to read these lanes the way they are right now. As you see Dickinson's ball coming in light, leading the 258, a very, very tough spare. He needs to make this spare to stay tied after 7 frames.
Lots of pressure here. And the man that accepted pressure, as well as anybody, a great champion, Marshall Holman, with a couple of guests.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. We have Norm Duke right here. Norm, you shot 300 earlier today. Do you feel like on the same pair you're going to need to make some adjustments?
Well, they re-oiled and restripped, and they made a number of changes, so I'm going to have to adapt to it. I still look for some high scores for, the remainder of the afternoon, and it's going to take a bunch.
All right. Thank you, Norm. Mark, it's been since 1988 since we won a tournament. Is today the day?
Well, I hope so. The World Open, the last tournament last year, I had a chance to win. I left a few solid 9s. I've gone to 15-pound balls. I've still got some good hit with it, and just going to go ahead and do my best.
All right, I've been watching all week. You look strong. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, thank you, Marshall and guys. 7th frame, leaving the 310. Gary Dickinson now trying to convert it on the left lane. Oh, this is a big match. I told you and our viewers that, and as you knew, Dickinson, 49th TV, 4th TV for Ron Winger. Both of their trouser leg pants are shaking. There's pressure. And why not? The winner goes on and has a chance for $25,000. You know, tonight on ABC, Chevy Chase is a city slicker who finds rural life a little too much in Funny Farm. Then, on the commish, special guest, Gerald McRaney is a priest who's hiding a terrible secret. It's all tonight on ABC. Our commissioner in from Akron, Ohio, Mike Connor.
The biggest shot of the match coming up for Winger. Nobody has struck on this left-hand lane in the match so far. Winger leads by 2, could make it 12. Ninth frame. Winger made the proper move that time. It's very subtle, but you have to get the ball in the high oil area around the 4th or 5th board. He just doesn't have quite enough power to pop the 10 out. Watch the 6, the second pin on the right-hand part of the screen. Just kind of zips around the 10, not enough impetus. A spare here, he'd lead by just 2 pins with 1 frame remaining. This type of shot is very subtle, favors Gary Dickinson if he can figure out what to do. Gary actually needs to move right on the approach and throw it left, a move that players don't make very often. It'll be difficult to make it in this crucial situation. It looks like he's moved left on the approach. Let's see what happens.
Seven. Solid?
Solid 7, you're right, Chris. Threads the needle.
Goodness.
Seems a little bit undisturbed by that. With a spare here, he'll be trailing by 3 pins as we go to the 10th frame.
Pretty close match, though.
Well, it is, and here's what faces Dickinson. Neither player has struck on the left-hand lane. We've had 5 frames by Winger, 4 by Dickinson. Nobody has struck on the left-hand lane. Right now, Gary Dickinson needs a double to take the lead and put the pressure back on Winger. Here we go. Well, you don't become a Hall of Famer without having a Sunday punch, and Dickinson put it out there right that time. Little extra speed, a little extra loft, snap that 10-pin out, and for the first time in the match, he can take the lead if he strikes. However, he cannot shut out this man.
PBA Hall of Fame in 88, 92, the ABC.
Dickinson just looks at the ball to reset his eyes.
Years old.
He has the lead, can't shut out Winger. There's his mom. He'll look down at that ball again. Earl Anthony used to do this, and they just kind of rest their eyes just before they bring it up to the target so they get a good solid focus. Here he goes, a possible 184.
All right, 184. Look at that. Congratulations from the man he's bowling before Ron Winger has completed. Nelson, is that a good tip? You have the Choice Hotels tip a little bit later on, and this man, Ron Winger, was in one of your earlier tips this year.
Oh, Ron did a tip on lift. He can use that right now. As far as the eyes are concerned, that's a personal matter.
Okay.
If you like to keep him focused, this man has to focus on getting 2 strikes. He needs them both to win. Disappointed. Ron Winger sends it wide. Dickinson bails it out in the 10th.
All right, so Gary Dickinson later on will go against the winner of this tournament. Next up, Norm Duke and Mark Williams. This ABC Sports Presentation, Professional Bowlers.
New York in June. How about you? I like a Gershwin tune. How about you?
Make sure you take Gensio puncture-resistant tires on your next trip to New York.
I like it. How about you?
Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime speeds powerful medicines to free your breathing, soothe your aches, and quiet your cough so you can rest, all without alcohol. Nothing rushes relief like Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime.
Shake it, no dandruff. You've got Selsun Power. Brush it, no flakes. You've got Selsun Power with Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it #1 over all leading brands. Dandruff problem? No way. You've got Selsun Power.
Saturday on an all-new commish.
This murder was brutal. It's going away for good.
When a priest stands in the way of justice, Tony pushes for a confession.
This is your last chance to do the right thing.
But I give you that gun and his life is over. Gerald McRaney guest stars on an all-new commish Saturday.
The Cadillac Fleetwood is indeed a cradle of comfort and power. And for your safety, when you need to accelerate on demand, its new 260 horsepower V8 takes over. To comfortably pull away from the competition, even when pulling away. Lease a Fleetwood for 24 months with a single upfront payment of $10,998. Cadillac Fleetwood, creating a higher standard.
Gardner White Furniture.
Leave your money at home during Gardner White's President's Sale. You don't pay anything till August. No payments, no interest, and no money down. Plus, this week only, Gardner White will pay your sales tax. Save 30 to 60% on everything. Get free next day delivery, then don't pay anything till August. This week only at
Gardner White Furniture. We're known by the money you keep.
The gang is back for Porky's Revenge late night tonight on 7.
The Pro Bowlers Tour, brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels. General Tire, for over 75 years, General Tire's been making quality tires that you and your family can depend on. And Bud Light, if you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Okay, Gary Dickinson now, Player of the Year of the senior ranks. Goes into the challenge later as he defeated Ron Winger, 184 to 164. So he's a winner like Mr. Oklahoma was the winner. I'm speaking about Bud Wilkinson. You know, my friend Bud, during his incomparable heyday, this is a picture of it, at the University of Oklahoma. And maybe you knew that Bud could sing like a meadowlark, especially the songs of Hawaii. Like his favorite, sung here by Elvis, Beyond the Reef. You know, beyond his coaching career was one great man with class and manners second to none. Did he have a sense of humor? Oh, ask his sons, super sons, All-American Jay, Dr. Pat and their mom Mary, 6 grandchildren, and his lovely wife Donna in St. Louis. You know, at ABC, I had the joy of doing more football games on television with Bud than he coached at OU. You know, Will Rogers and Broadway musical Oklahoma made this state famous, but Bud, I think, unified not only this state, but the entire Southwest with his football genius and his humanity. You know, he was an advisor to several presidents. I personally think he could have been one himself. He was 77 years old, and from all of us, Bud, aloha.
Well, Chris, I know he's your great friend, and he always had the will to prepare. That was his motto. And here's 2 men that he would be proud of. Norm Duke, Mark Williams in the first semifinal match of the Choice Hotels Classic. Norm Duke had a 300 in the earlier going this morning.
Okay. That's the type of hit Bud Wilkinson loved. Norm Duke, who had that 300 in his one match this morning, earning his right to go against the number 2 seed, Mark Williams, at whom you're looking. All right. The winner of this game, of course, will meet the Player of the Year winner earlier this year, Walter A. Williams.
Style of Mark Williams, just everything under control. Shoulder high, comes straight through with that cocked wrist. Watch that wrist release the ball. Steady head, follow through towards target. He bowled very well yesterday morning, and that's the type of condition we have out here right now. Both these players, Chris, have seen this lane condition. This was the shot that showed up to us yesterday morning, where the two senior players didn't have the luxury of bowling on this condition. They struggled in the first match. We won't see that here.
And, of course, Norm Duke won the AC Delco Classic, our first of the year.
As we look at Norm Duke's style, the reason we won't see it is these players had the chance to adjust yesterday morning to this lane condition, and they've made the move. Duke with just a perfect style. Watch his arm swing inside out. Look at that. One of the top 5 players in the world today, and he wants to sit on top of the heap. He wants not only Mark Williams, but he wants a piece of Walter Ray in the final. Here we go. Just got it a little too wide. The ball starts coming back and kind of rolls out. What he needs to do is get the ball to the left of the 2-pin, drive the 2 into the 10. A shot he's made a number of times this week, but he'd like to have it right now.
Norm Duke. It's an open in the 3rd frame. 14-pin lead by Mark Williams. No relation to our tournament leader, Walter Ray Williams. Does have a brother, Derek, who's out here on the tour.
Derek was the alternate, finished 25th.
There's 3 in a row. 6'1", 200 pounds, and 36 years old. Last victory was in 1988, the Tournament of Champions.
Mark's brother out 25th in the tournament. His dad, Wayne, has been here all week long. In fact, I was sitting right next to his dad as Mark bowled a perfect 300 game on Wednesday afternoon. A proud father hoping his son can take home a victory. The 3 players, Mark Williams, Norm Duke, Walter Ray Williams, 3 of the most versatile players we have on the PBA Tour. Watch the technique at the spare shooting here of Mark Williams. He'll kill that big hook, go straight across lane, very accurate.
Okay, leading by 23 pins here in our second match. This fountain that you're going to look at is in front of the Old North, which is a part of the campus of the University of Central Oklahoma in Edmond. The students come here from 40 states and 72 foreign countries.
Pardon me, where are you going with all that Bud Light?
The Lee family reunion.
Then I'm here for the Lee family reunion.
You're a member of the Lee family?
Yes, I am.
Right this way.
你是李中的老大。Sure, I just sure.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
你真有点像他。
You know, I'm always teaching bowlers how to put fingers into the shot, not just the ball. But you can also use your fingers to save money. If you're 50 or over, just call 1-800-4-CHOICE, and you can save 30% at choice hotels like Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep. 30%. Now that's what I call aiming for the pocket.
Travelers 50 and over save 30% at Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep hotels.
I have a tendency to pick gay men.
Husband hunting? We've got tips for you on the next Rolanda.
Weekday mornings at 11 on 7.
Don't forget, special time, 2 Eastern Central, next Saturday.
Norm Duke up in the 4th frame, started with 2 strikes, left the 2-10 split, trails by 23.
Okay. Won the 1993 ABC Masters in Tulsa. Okay, Marshall Holman.
Walter, I was out in the 70s. I watched Earl Anthony bowl at his best. I watched Mark Roth bowl at his best. But enough about them. What about, what's been happening with you this week? You've just been doing great.
Well, I've had a good year, obviously, and I'm wanting to repeat like I did last year. So I got to go out there and be aggressive, and I was able to do that this week and hung in there and got the top spot.
All right. Well, I think you're ready to do it. I watched you practice, and good luck to you, buddy.
Thanks.
Hey, Marshall. Sometime we want to talk about you.
Yeah. Should have done that.
Here's a big shot for Norm Duke. Unexpected. He's playing around the third arrow, trying to play that big hook, sends it really wide into the moat. Whew. Actually, a pretty easy spare, as good a strike ball as he has. He just has to concentrate on make the spare, forget the gutter ball.
Yes, after 2 errors now, he has come back to strike. You professionals are something.
Well, big players like, say, Norm Duke are high-risk, high-reward players. If they're going to throw some bad shots like that, they just have to forget it and come back. He just did it. Mark Williams leads by 22. A solid 9. The pins are just not enough to resist today's bowling balls, Chris. A hit that should never leave any pins at all. The 5 pin is driven to the right of the 9.
Okay. You know, tomorrow on ABC Sports, Pizza Hut College Basketball presents a regional doubleheader. First, 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Number 2 Duke looks to avenge an earlier season upset at the hands of ACC rival Wake Forest. Or Marquette hosts Cincinnati. Then, Game 2, Arizona meets Cal in the Pac-10, or 8th-ranked Temple takes on number 13 Massachusetts. All tomorrow here on ABC. Fourth strike and 6 frames for Mark Williams, number 2 seed, earning the number 3 spot, Norman Duke. There is Karen, native of Oklahoma. Pretty.
Karen, a nurse at a local hospital here, hoping that her husband can cut the lead of Mark Williams down to 12 pins with a strike here in the 7th. Have to put that gutter ball out of your mind, Norm. Just send it out and give it room. He's standing way to the left. These lanes are unbelievably slick, and yet he's trying to play a shot in this area. What a shot. Tremendous power. Chris, time to editorialize. Bowling should not have trip 2 pins. They should not have messengers into the 10 pin, and they should not have solid 9s. Today's bowling balls are too strong for the bowling pins that the professionals are bowling against. Once again, he almost leaves a 7-9 split on as good a shot as he could possibly throw.
Okay, how do we equalize things? Well, I'll talk to you about that later, because we're going to have to go away for a moment for an important message. 22-pin lead by Williams.
Most trackers can follow the trail only as long as the weather holds up. Unless it's a tracker spurred on with genuine AC spark plugs. AC plugs fire like lightning for performance so smooth, even the thunderclaps. And that'll keep your engine on the trail to a long life.
Call 1-800-AC-DOCO. It's like buying time.
So better track down some AC spark plugs.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think? Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By men. With Minwax polyurethane, you can do more than admire your wood. You can live with it, too, because Minwax contains pure urethane oil to protect wood while giving it beauty you can really live with. Minwax keeps wood beautiful.
Are swift and severe punishments the real answer to violent crime? A judge, a sheriff, and a former police officer square off Sunday on Spotlight.
This is our tournament leader. Also player of the year, Walter Ray Williams Jr., most dominant player, not in one form of competition, but 2. Bowling on horseshoes, world champion.
Okay, Mark Williams, 7th frame, strike working, has a 22-pin lead over Norm Duke. Can extend that lead to 32 with 1 additional strike here in the 7th frame.
Leaving a 3.
Not enough speed. That's the shot that the senior players were playing out there in the first or second board. The lane is very dry in that zone. The ball must go high. He's lucky to avoid the 310 baby split. You see the pin action here. Comes away with a simple spare. 10 pin, the last to fall.
See Derek and Dad, Wayne and Derek Williams, Beaumont, Texas.
All right, for Norm Duke, let's take him off the sheet. Possible 226. Mark Williams going at a 218 pace. 3 frames left. Semifinal game. Choice Hotel Classic. The winner will meet Walter Ray Williams Jr. for the title. Here we go.
And then the champion will meet Gary Dickinson for an additional $25,000 winner-take-all in the Choice Challenge.
It's must time for Norm Duke.
That was a strike in the 8th frame for Norm Duke, originally from the Fort Worth, Texas area. He's from Mount Pleasant.
Norm tricks the 2 into the 4. The 6 knocks out the 10. He stays alive. But to win the match, he absolutely must strike here. Trails by 22 pins, can cut the lead of Mark Williams down to 12. 9th frame, Williams knows the story. Here we go. Neither one of this duo will back off in the clutch. So here it comes down to the man who can perform in the 9th or 10th frames. Williams has to guard against getting an open, but he still must stay aggressive because in order to shut out Norm Duke, he has to throw more strikes. And that was not an aggressive shot. Babied it down there. Duke knows he's still alive. Here's that soft shot out to about the 2nd board. Ball breaks high. He avoided the 310 split in the 7th frame. Now he has the 3-6-10 here in the 9th.
Oh. Tomorrow, after America's Funniest Hour, Patrick Duffy and Suzanne Somers share with you the one moment most couples never have on tape. Their proposals. Valentine's Day comes a day early on Will You Marry Me? Then, Ted Danson, Tom Selleck, and Steve Guttenberg star in 3 Men and a Little Lady. All tomorrow on ABC.
10th frame, semifinal, all even. Right now, Mark Williams with a spare and a strike will force Norm Duke to strike. We have a possibility of a tie match. First thing in front of Mark Williams is to make this 10 pin.
All right.
Simple as this. Norm Duke has to do whatever Mark Williams does. If Mark Williams gets 9, Duke has to get 9 spare strike. It would be a tie. If Williams strikes, Duke has to strike to win. Pin count, very important. A strike forces Duke to strike.
So it's a 206.
This man who won the Masters, who prides himself on being one of the toughest action players in the world. He'll bowl anybody. I would be surprised if he doesn't throw the strike for the win. He needs it.
He cranked that one.
He put all he had on it, Chris.
Absolutely.
One tough Texan who has moved to Oklahoma. Look at those eyes. Six pins. Remember, he had one on the channel. He may just throw this down the middle. Uh-oh. Look at this. Look at this. 191. He needs to get one of these pins to secure a victory. Still a smart move, Norm Duke. Still smart. Keep it out of the channel. Needs one pin. Guarantee you he'll stay behind the foul line. You'll see that same shot straight down the middle, aiming at the head pin. It's going to be Duke and Walter Ray.
All right. This week, the Choice Hotels Tip of the Week spotlights Hall of Famer Billy Hardwick.
ABC Sports presents a winning never gets old bowling tip. Brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels.
Our guest today is bowling's first Triple Crown winner, Billy Hardwick. Billy won the U.S. Open, the PBA National, and the Tournament of Champions. And here's his famous style, some 30...
Format, 206 for Mark Williams, the winner, Duke, 211, 7 strikes, now goes into the championship match. And here are a couple of champions. Choice Hotels Vice President Tim Harwood and Regional Marketing Director Joe Neen. Sure glad to have them here. Super guys.
Solid week this week, Chris. 7-day tournament, 56 games, 204 men went to the starting gate, 222 average to make the top 24. Senior there in 6th place. Nice guy Tracy Lambert. Kelly Kaufman made more than 50% of his spares this week, so he got a check. Mr. Machine, Dave Arnold. Bob Learn, Bob Benoit, Mr. 300. Billy Oates says happy birthday to his mom, Mary.
Who's that fellow?
John Handegard, the high finishing senior on the regular tour. Ron Williams, the fireball Phil Rigener, Randy Peterson, and Eugene McCune round out the top 24.
Okay, we're in Edmond today, a week from today, in the St. Louis area, Bo, Richmond Heights, Missouri, for the $180,000 Bud Light Hall of Fame Championship. The time is 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 St. Louis time, and then we'll move on to Peoria for the True Value Open, Landmark Lanes, again, 2 o'clock Eastern, and 1 Peoria time. Those are the next 2 stops. Now, here is the classic match handshake. Who wins this wins $38,000. The runner-up 20, but the winner then goes on against Gary Dickinson to win try to win a $25,000 winner-take-all. It's different.
Walter Ray won this tournament 1986-87, but Norm Duke, who wants to unseat Walter Ray as the #1 player of the year. He has made that known to everybody. This is a big match if he wants to do that.
And this is a head-to-head match against 2 winners this year. This is our 4th telecast. Norm Duke won the first AC Delco Classic, and then Walter Ray won in Las Vegas.
Norm Duke told me, last year in Detroit, I beat Walter Ray when he was on top. And if I can get to Walter today, I have an edge if that's possible. He'll bowl 240, but I've got to get to him first. He's thinking about me. Trust me, Walter Ray is tough, but Norm Duke leaves nothing in the bag. This is a big one.
Well, it's a double for Duke. And up is the man that won 7 titles last year, $296,000. He was 2nd 4 times, 3rd twice, 4th once, 5th once.
Walter Ray Williams Jr., our familiar profile, 5-step delivery. But what makes Walter so good? It's his ability to tuck his swing back in through this area and pull his left arm back as he releases the shot, squaring up his shoulder directly on target in the full extension. I think he does that better than anybody in the world today, plus his versatility. Both players have started with 2 strikes.
Put more importance on this match. We said 38 for the winner, but if you add the 25 should this classic winner go on to beat Gary Dickinson, that'd be a total of 63 grand this afternoon.
Norm Duke, whose hobby is scouting and charting the stock market, he says his big tip is gambling stocks for 3 more years.
I'd bet on him maybe, huh?
No gamble on that shot. Chris, following up, we were talking about the bowling pins, and obviously these players have struck 3 times, but the players don't like to see the trip 2, the solid 9, or the scout 10. It may look good as you see this ball going right through the pins. However, the players would like to see maybe a ½ pound added to each pin. You could do that by putting, say, a PBA bullet or a piece of steel right through the base and make them a little heavier. Be worthwhile.
There is a 4-bagger for Norm Duke. Thus far, Williams is perfect. This guy is a member of a family located at the next guy, Oklahoma City Zoological Park. Over 2,000 specimens that make their home here. For Walter Ray Williams, at whom you're looking, 4 for his opponent, Duke.
First man to miss, the #1 computer ranked player, Walter Ray, going against #2, Norm Duke. Duke has 4 strikes. Walter, starting with 3, voted the best spare shooter on the tour. We figure he's going to make this automatic. Yeah, I can jinx him every time, partner. Walter Ray will miss that 1 out of 100. That's a bad time to do it, Walter. Switches to a harder ball. Hopefully it'll slide back, but it slides more than he expects, slides off in the channel, and I say more 10-pins missed this week than any other week I've been on tour. A lot has to do with the oiling pattern. The centers are dry. That outside edge is very oily.
Great, powerful comeback. Man of many comebacks and many championships, Marshall Holman.
With me is Gary Dickinson. Gary, you're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit after that match in the senior final. But I still think you can do it. I think you got that good line from the outside.
I think so, too. You know, I can keep the senior tradition. Gene Stuss was great last year, and hopefully I can keep it going this week.
All right, his prediction is going to be 2 wins for the seniors. Back to you guys.
Okay. 4-pin.
Well, I think Gary Dickinson was just kind of giving him the decoy shot. As you see Norm Duke trying to take advantage of that open by Walter Ray, just chews up the center of the pins. He tried to put too much on the ball. Breaks down the 410 cross lane.
Stuck a little bit at the line. Didn't like Dickinson continues to limber up on the far right after the interview with Marshall.
Norm slowing the action down to ask for a re-rack. 1 of 2 he's allowed in every game he bowls. He was the #1 average in 1991 with 218. Old League that same year averaged 232. Right now he has a 22-pin lead over the best player in the world, Walter Ray Williams Jr. 6 frame. Ball drifts a little high. Watch the action. The 3rd pin on the left-hand part of your screen. Head pin goes to the sideboard, knocks the 2 into the 4, or almost gets out the 9. Spare conversion by Duke here in the 6th would leave him with a 21-pin lead. Walter Ray taking the full approach, all 17 feet. More of a leg player. He's very strong physically, but he uses his legs more than most players. Whew, unusual pin action. He drives the 5-pin straight back and hits the kickback, which is 29 inches from the end of the lane to the pin. Watch this action. When the ball disappears, those pins are driven back there 29 inches. That looks like the 3-pin that bounced out. If it had hit this 4-pin, it would have counted.
We're in our classic match for the championship. The winner to meet for a $25,000 winner-take-all challenge as we look at Walter Ray's fiancée, Paige Pennington.
Walter Ray trailing by 21. It's getting late. 7th frame.
Another 10.
The #1 player this year, no wins, 3 losses. Walter Ray, if he doesn't get on the stick here, is going to open the season, 1994, with the tournament leader being 0 wins and 4 losses.
Okay, we're in the championship match. Advance to the 7th frame. Let's advance a little bit pictorially and look at the championship trophy. Leads by 20. Now an 8th frame shot by the player of the year, tournament leader here in Edmond, Oklahoma, Walter Ray Williams, Jr.
Both these players seem a little bit queried by what's happening out there and confused. And the same thing is happening to them that we saw happen to the 2 senior players. They get the ball in that dry area to the right, the ball jumps high. They get it in the oil, and it slides by the head pin. And there's really not a whole lot you can do with it. You can try one or 2 things. Throw the big hook like Duke or throw the hard straight ball like Walter Ray.
Next Saturday here on ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour, we'll head to the home of the National Bowling Hall of Fame in Richmond Heights, Missouri, St. Louis area for the Bud Light Hall of Fame Championship at a special time. That was a special frame for Walter Ray Williams. A special time, 2 Eastern, 1 Central, 3 Pacific, next Saturday and Saturday night. Salute the champions in St. Louis. Big dinner.
With 2 frames left, championship match, Choice Hotel Classic, title on the line. Duke leads by 21. He's going at a 2:26 pace. Walter Ray, possible 2:25.
.300 game this morning in earning his way into the 2 matches here. He defeated Mark Williams, previous, 211 to 206 with 7 strikes, and Walter Ray is the tournament leader.
Right now, Norm Duke needs spare strike to be the Choice Hotel champions. Looks to the scoreboard. The strike would have shut out Walter Ray. He needs this spare and a strike to lock it up. Walter, who struck 3 times to win the Portland tournament on ABC. He also struck 3 times in the 10th to win Kennewick last year. Knows that if Duke gets anything less, he can do it.
That was a done deal and walked away from the line long before it got there. He knew it.
Scoreboard tells the story. We talk about the great strike balls that all these players have, but look at the 4th frame. Walter Ray Williams missed a 10-pin to put him in this situation where he has very little chance. Duke strikes, he wins. 9, possible tie. 8, he can possibly lose. Here we go.
Handshake. And there he is. A remarkable day, a remarkable year thus far. One in Las Vegas.
Well, he made a bad mistake last week missing the 10-pin, but knowing Walter Ray, he just kind of blows it off and comes on to the next week, and obviously bowled very well. He's in 3rd place, but Palumbi is zeroed on this right-hand lane. If he can hit the left-hand lane, he's going to give Walter all he can handle.
10-pin on that right lane that was kind to him in his 188 to 181 victory.
Ron from a bowling family. His dad, Ron Sr., a 200 average bowler. His mother, Linda, a 160 average league bowler in Erie, Pennsylvania, where we'll be later on in the year for the flagship City Open. Ron for the 10-pin. And has to be removed. Actually, the rule states that if you throw a ball with a pin in the channel and either another pin or the ball hits it, it's considered 0 for that shot. So Palumbi making a wise move, removing the pin. He's ready to go 2nd frame, started with a spare.
All right. Gets that strike on that pesky left lane. Now Walter Ray opened with a strike. Shooting in the 2nd frame. checkerboard. Sure.
Watch the footwork of Walter Ray. He has a crossover step. He's very focused with his head, takes a 5-step delivery, and every step crosses over. See him left, right, right back in the target. And once again, look at the big loft. He's doing the same thing that Ron Palumbi is doing, holding that hook back, and that time it worked. Walter made it set up. He started with 2 in a row.
3 now for Player of the Year. Last year he won 7. He had 4 seconds, 2/3, a 4th, and a 5th. Strike up, shooting in the 3rd. Can cut the lead to 10.
Good stuff now. God.
Once again, the solid 9. And we said we'd tell you the resolution that the PBA Tournament Committee passed. They're looking into the possibility of using heavier pins with a lower center of gravity. And that's what you need. Look at this ball is designed to hit the 1, 3, hit the 5, and deflect into the 9. What we need is heavier pins. The balls are fine, the lanes are fine, but pros need a little more of an object to knock down. Chris, and what they voted to do, following up with that, is they're possibly experiment with 3 tournaments this summer with a heavier pin to see how the pros fare.
Good news?
Yeah, it'll be more of a reward for a good shot and more of a penalty for a bad shot, and that's what we need to reduce the luck element in the game. The grip of Ron Palumbi. Big man, big hand, full grip, extends that index finger for better grip on the ball, just the index, the 2 fingers in the ball, and the heavy lift.
Beautiful sight. There. And then the checkered shirt, Walter Ray Williams Jr. with 3 in a row, shooting in the 4th.
Watch his approach. He crossover steps. Walter is like this all the way to the foul line, sliding underneath the shot. Excellent footwork.
Bounce it did. Okay, there's a 4-bagger. Okay, from Richardson, Texas, Del Ballard.
Eugene, Burton's been talking all day about guys needing to bring up the heat, keep the ball speed up. Or what are you going to do today?
Oh, I think Walter's striking with us. I might throw a little more heat than he is.
Okay, I think that's the right strategy. Definitely ball speed.
I think you're right, Del, and nobody can do it better than these two. Here's another one.
Now 5. There were 9 300s here this week. Jeff Stayrook had 2. Here's this man in Amleto in different years had 7 300s. Sliding by 210.
The ability to adapt is the key to professional bowling. Ron Palumbi, one of the great players in the country today, bowling against the man on the tour right now, Walter Ray Williams. And Walter has just adjusted a little bit better. Right now, Ron's got this dilemma. He's got to get the ball to the left of the 2-pin, drive it into the 10. If he doesn't make this, he's in big trouble in the match at the halfway point.
So that open coming in the 5th frame of this Ron Palumbi's 2nd match. And with 5 in a row, it's a 52-pin lead by Player of the Year.
Palumbi playing a little bigger hook, so he's farther left on the lane, and this is the reason he's getting in trouble. He's going to be sliding in this area. He's going to be hitting around here, and there's heavy oil in this area, so he has to get the ball in the oil and out. A much more difficult shot than Walter's playing.
Third of the match, now going for number 6 in a row, Williams. He is halfway to $100,000. Will be provided by True Value as Paige Pennington. His fiancé seems calm and cool.
I think she's getting used to it. As you said, he bowled 7 perfect games, a tour tying record last year, 4-in-1 tournament. halfway this year. Now see the difference in what Walter's playing. He's playing completely in the dry, just muscling it, and that's the best shot right now.
Come on. Number 7. 5 to go, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, you see the ball bouncing as Walter lets that one go, but that delays the hook. But Walter's throwing the ball about 20, 21 miles an hour, holding it on line.
And a double for Ron Palumbi. Ron won the first game if you just joined us, 188 to 181. Dave Arnold shooting 7 pins less. That was the first match. Now we're in our second, and Walter A. Williams Jr.
Possible 238 for Palumbi, but it may not be enough. Just got to keep striking Ron and see what happens.
A 2.
Well, right now, Ron Palumbi gets the 4th place check, even though it's only the 8th frame, and he becomes a spectator rooting for Walter Ray Williams Jr. Palumbi, a possible 217. Walter on a mission, has the first 7 strikes in a row, 5 more, $100,000. He's already has the match secured.
Okay. Walter Ray brings his 6'2" frame up on the approach now, using all of it in the right lane. In a row, 4 more. I remember when our president of ABC Sports, Dennis Swanson, was on hand, we had a perfect game, and he presented the $100,000 check. Our senior vice president, Dennis Lewin, is here today, so we'll see.
100,000 of that man's nothing. He'd love to give it to Walter Ray.
Oh, yes. Okay. A rest for that man.